30 years ago this week, the largest snowstorm in the history of East Tennessee fell. And this is a little story about my experiences with that snowstorm. I call it, I survived the blizzard of '93 at the Waffle House. On March 12, 1993, the temperature started to drop and huge flakes of snow fell in Athens, Tennessee. I was hungry and I decided to drive 5 miles from my place downtown out to the Waffle House on Decatur Pike at I-75. Since my divorce in 1991, I developed a habit of eating with a few of the Waffle House regulars, mostly older retired guys. The snow was beginning to lay as I drove into the parking lot. I parked my Pontiac Grand Prix with the nose slightly downhill. As I came in, Hayward Armstrong, a retired local radio newsman, boomed out, "Come in this house. Sit down, young man." I joined my usual crowd and I ordered country ham with 3 over medium, hash browns scattered, smothered, and covered, diced and peppered, plus mushrooms, a pecan waffle, and coffee to drink. Most of the guys had been there a while and drifted away while I ate. Finally, it was just me and Hayward. We were deeply engaged in our usual discussion of the corrupt local politicians in McMinn County, and had not looked out the window when Hayward glanced down at his watch. He said that he probably needed to go. At that point, we realized a good 6 inches of snow had blanketed the parking lot in the hour that we had been talking. I told him, "Hold on, I'll walk out with you." I quickly finished my meal and paid. Hayward had diabetes and lost 3 toes on 1 foot, and as a result was a bit unstable. I took his arm to steady him, and we gingerly shuffled our way through the snow out to his old beater. As luck would have it, his engine wouldn't start. I told him not to worry about it. I'd take him home and he could come back later and get his car. My car started with no trouble, but it was front-wheel drive with the most powerful Pontiac engine made and a 5-speed manual transmission. The slope of the parking space was not great, but the car was facing downhill and the tires were resting against the curb. Every time I let out on the clutch, the tires started spinning. I tried all the tricks I knew, but I could not get any traction. All it was doing was melting snow and burning rubber. Hayward and I gave up, went back inside. The grill cook, Lucille, turned and looked at us. I said, "Looks like Hayward and I are stuck here." She replied, "Join the club." Her daughter had just called and she could not get out of their driveway. Lucille had already worked the morning and afternoon shifts and was none too happy at the news that she too was stuck at the Waffle House. By then the snow was at least 8 inches thick and pure powder blowing and drifting everywhere. It was going on 8 p.m. The only folks left in the Waffle House were Hayward and me, Lucille the fry cook, 3 waitresses, and an elderly couple from Illinois, and it looked like none of us were going anywhere. As a regular, I knew the staff well. Lucille was in her late 50s and had been cooking at the Waffle House for 16 years. She was about 5 by 5 and had most of her teeth. She had been married 3 times and had 6 kids. Irby was one of the waitresses. She was a big, raw-boned woman, about 50 years old, with a penchant for over-the-road truck drivers. Irby was not fat, but she was formidable. Combined between the 2 of them, they had gone a good 650. They were both single, and over the years, Irby and Lucille had both become a bit partial to me and had developed a friendly rivalry for my attention. I adopted an approach of strategic unawareness. although I must admit I did occasionally tease them and kept up a bit of running banter. By 8:30 p.m. the lights began to flicker. An Economy Inn was located across the street, and I announced, "I'll see if they've got any rooms. If they do, I'll rent one, and we can take turns getting a little sleep overnight." They have one handicapped room left with 2 queen beds. I rented it, and the staff and the elderly couple took 2-hour turns sleeping over the night. Luckily, the power did not go off, and Hayward and I dozed in the booths in between drinking pots of coffee and eating waffles. When daylight finally arrived, the scene outside the Waffle House was amazing. 23 inches of snow had fallen overnight. Drifts were 10 to 20 feet high. My car was invisible. The sky was clear and the snow was blinding in the brilliant sunlight. It was the largest blizzard in East Tennessee history. About 9 in the morning, I saw a McMinn County tractor with a plow mounted on the front attempting to clear Decatur Pike. I made my way as quickly as I could down to the pike and waved the tractor driver down as he made his second pass. I asked, "Can you clear the side road up to the parking lot and pull my car out?" He said he would clear the road, but he could not help me with my car in the parking lot because it was the county tractor and the lot was private property. I responded, "I really need to get home, and I have $40 cash in my pocket. Will that make any difference?" He allowed as how it would. He cleared the road and the path to my car. I dug the snow away from the car door with my bare hands. Fortunately, the snow was relatively warm and the lock was not frozen. He then pulled my car out. I started it up and left it running, parked on the upper side of the lot, and I tipped him $40. I went inside and I got Hayward, and as we left, I thanked the staff and got contact information from the Illinois couple. I took Hayward home and then shoveled out my front door to get into my building. At that time, I was a partner in a screen printing business. I ordered 8 black sweatshirts, printed in white. "I survived the blizzard of '93 at thee." And then below that, I printed a yellow and black Waffle House logo. I sent 2 shirts to the Illinois couple, gave 1 to Hayward, 4 to the staff. They all loved them. For years after that, I would be greeted at the Waffle House store in Athens with, "Here comes my Blizzard Man." So folks, that's the story of how I survived the blizzard of '93 at the Waffle House. Thank you.